The stadium lights blazed across the night sky, and for one last time this season, all eyes were fixed on Shohei Ohtani. The noise was deafening, but Ohtani stood calm as ever, his glove tucked under his arm, his expression unreadable. It was the final inning of the World Series, the moment that would define not just the season, but an era of baseball history. The crowd erupted with chants of MVP, MVP, before he even threw a pitch. The pressure, though enormous, seemed to fuel him rather than break him. It was something only Ohtani could do, carry the weight of a nation, 2 continents, and the dreams of millions on his shoulders and still perform flawlessly. Ohtani's first pitch came in at 99 miles per hour. The sound of the ball smacking into the catcher's mitt echoed like a gunshot. The batter froze. It was clear right away, this was Ohtani's moment, and no one was going to steal it from him. Throughout the postseason, he had already silenced every critic. Some doubted whether he could maintain his dominance as both a hitter and a pitcher 2 years in a row. But here he was, rewriting the rules of what an athlete could be. Every swing, every strike, every look of determination reminded fans that they were watching something truly historic. As he stepped to the mound for his next pitch, flashes from hundreds of cameras sparkled like stars. His motion was smooth, effortless, almost poetic. The batter swung, and missed. 2 strikes. 1 more to go. Every fan in the stadium rose to their feet, holding their breath as Ohtani stared down the final batter. The air was electric, thick with anticipation. He nodded to his catcher, took a deep breath, and unleashed a devastating slider that cut across the plate like lightning. The batter missed. Strike 3. Pandemonium broke out. Ohtani dropped to one knee, overcome by emotion as his teammates rushed toward him. The scoreboard read, "Champions, again." For the second consecutive year, Shohei Ohtani had led his team to the pinnacle of baseball glory. Fireworks exploded above the stadium as the team lifted Ohtani onto their shoulders. The image of him smiling, waving to the crowd with the championship trophy in his hand, spread instantly across the world. In Japan, people flooded the streets celebrating. In Los Angeles, fans wore unicorn headbands, chanting his name into the night. Reporters scrambled to capture his reaction, but Ohtani, humble as ever, simply said, "We did it together." That line alone was enough to melt the hearts of millions who had followed his incredible journey. Behind this victory was not just talent, it was discipline, patience, and a level of humility rare in superstars. His season had been nothing short of cinematic, pitching complete games, hitting walk-off home runs, and rallying his teammates when the odds were stacked against them. Every young athlete watching knew they were witnessing greatness. Ohtani wasn't just a baseball player, he was an inspiration, a symbol of what happens when passion meets persistence. As highlights rolled across the screens, one moment stood out above the rest: his clutch home run in Game 6, a towering blast that silenced the opposing crowd and gave his team the lead they never relinquished. That swing, with its perfect follow-through, became the image that defined the series. In the dugout, teammates embraced him, knowing they had been part of something that transcended sport. The chemistry, the trust, and the belief they shared were unbreakable, forged through battles and triumphs. Ohtani's dual dominance was nothing short of mythical. On the mound, he threw with precision and ferocity. At the plate, he hit with elegance and power. No one in modern baseball had ever done it like him, twice in a row. Commentators around the world ran out of superlatives. Legend, icon, phenomenon, none seemed big enough to contain what he represented. For fans, every inning felt like a gift. For opponents, every matchup felt like an impossible challenge. In the clubhouse after the win, champagne sprayed through the air, laughter filled the room, and Ohtani stood drenched, smiling modestly as cameras captured every second. He was the centerpiece of baseball's golden age. But amidst the chaos, he found a quiet moment, sitting at his locker, holding the ball from the final strikeout. It wasn't arrogance, it was reflection. He knew how fleeting glory could be, how much effort it took to stay at the top. He had battled through fatigue, media pressure, and even minor injuries that threatened to slow him down. Yet, he never made excuses. His focus was unshakable, his commitment total. Analysts would later call this the Ohtani dynasty era. His back-to-back World Series wins weren't just about dominance, they represented a revolution in the sport itself. He redefined what it meant to be a baseball player. Every young fan who once idolized home run hitters or flame-throwing pitchers now dreamed of being both, because Ohtani had made it possible. His impact went beyond statistics, it was cultural, emotional, and inspirational. As he took the championship parade through the streets, the cheers were deafening. Flags, banners, and signs reading, "Showtime Forever," lined the sidewalks. Kids wore his jersey, old fans cried tears of pride, and everyone knew they were celebrating a living legend. Ohtani's humility stood out again when asked about his MVP performance. "It's about the team," he said softly. "Without them, I'm nothing." That attitude, even after 2 consecutive championships, made people love him even more. Throughout the offseason, highlight reels replayed his greatest moments, his complete game shutouts, towering home runs, and unshakable poise in the biggest moments. Sports networks ran hour-long specials dissecting every pitch, every swing. Sponsors lined up, but Ohtani stayed focused on one thing: improving. He wasn't done yet. He wanted to be better next year. That mindset, of never being satisfied, made him truly unstoppable. The baseball world was now living in the age of Ohtani, and everyone knew it. His face was everywhere, on magazines, billboards, and digital screens, but his legacy was written not in ads, but in the memories of those who watched him perform. In every city he played, opposing fans stood and applauded him. It was rare, almost unheard of, but that was the respect he commanded. Even rivals admitted, when Ohtani played, you couldn't look away. The World Series trophy glistened in his hands as he raised it high, smiling at the camera with the same boyish joy he had when he first joined the league. He hadn't changed, only grown more complete. Back home in Japan, schools paused classes to show the highlights. Grandparents told stories about how far he'd come, from a small town in Iwate to the pinnacle of the baseball universe. He was more than an athlete, he was a national treasure. American fans embraced him just as deeply. He wasn't foreign talent, he was family, someone who brought unity through excellence. Baseball felt global, connected, alive. Every fan knew this wasn't the end of his story. It was just another chapter in a saga still unfolding. Because if Ohtani had shown anything, it was that limits existed only for those who believed in them. When the confetti settled and the celebrations faded, he walked quietly back onto the field, alone. He looked up at the empty stands, smiled, and whispered something to himself, maybe a thank you, maybe a promise for next year. The lights dimmed, but the legend burned brighter than ever. 2 consecutive World Series titles, countless records shattered, and millions inspired. The unicorn of baseball had done it again. And somewhere deep down, every fan watching knew, this was not just about wins or trophies. It was about witnessing greatness that comes once in a lifetime, and realizing that Shohei Ohtani was still just getting started.